Well guys, seems like Tesco is going to be one of the main shopping store chains to push the cashless society. What's been spoke about for many years now, or many years as I've known. We're doing a lot of research over the past 20 years, knowing that cashless one day will come about. Not really knowing when and when it will come about, but it seems that Tesco is going to be one of the main leaders to push the cashless society. All part of, or one of the factors to do with the great global reset. We've already seen less and less tills in the shops, more self-serve tills. Soon as COVID-19 hit, let's say the UK for instance anyway, started seeing all the signs springing up on end of the tills, refraining you from using cash. Try and demonise cash because it's supposed to be carrying a virus. Just as an example though, they never shut down the Royal Mail, did they? Mail parcels, envelopes being licked by people, shipped all around the world, even returned goods shipped back, but they never shut the Royal Mail down. But there was a demonising cash as being a deadly virus, what might give you COVID-19. I've got a feeling that this reset will happen because we've seen a year and a half now of the dumb masses following all this, hook, line and sinker, and it will be the people themselves that push this cashless society by blind compliance, just like the rest of all the other scenarios what are slowly going to unfold. We're seeing more and more changes start happening, and it's all circulating around COVID-19. Only the open-minded people who can actually think and think logically will be able to dissect each segment that unfolds. Remember, this is a 10-year program, 2020 to 2030, Agenda 30. It's going to be full throttle within these years up until 2030 to get every factor in place so the end goal is achieved. The great global reset. AI and digital technology takeover. People might just think that this is a great thing. Oh well, it's much more simple, isn't it? You don't have to use your cash anymore, and they'll come up with all sorts of excuses why it's much better to go digital. In this Good Morning programme, it's highly obvious they're only going to show you people who they interviewed who were pro-cashless. Everything, the whole narrative must be pro. That's what they must sell you. Pro-narrative, pro-agenda. I can guarantee you that they would have interviewed other people on the day of when they went out interviewing people about less tills and cashless in Tesco, and there would have been people who would have opposed it, but they can't really show you them. They won't show you them. They've got to show you the numpties that haven't got a clue, that are all for the cashless. The cashless and the reset as all for push humanity into complete Tyrannical slavery. That's truly what it is. And all the simple little things in life, like doing an odd job for somebody, bit of cash in the hand. You might have heard all these terms before. Leaving cash under the pillow for the tooth fairy for your kids. Chucking a couple of quid to an homeless man on the street. And much more simple things like that will all be gone. And everything will be traceable, which is the whole idea, what they want. Be able to track every single thing that you do with cash. I think even McDonald's, someone said McDonald's has gone most cashless. I don't know if that's true, because I've boycotted McDonald's for various reasons. That it's these big companies what will survive these lockdowns, but that's part of the plan, to get rid of all the small stores. What was it I saw tonight? I think, was it Gap or something? Another main chain high street store is now moving onto online goods selling, closing all the stores. This is all part of the reset. Many people just won't get it. That's what it's about. Collapsing businesses, collapse society, to drive forward the reset, to push the digital society. When you can no longer go to a street to purchase the goods that you want, you'll have no other choice but go online. Everything now is moving online. I found out just a couple of weeks ago as local council office is shutting down, where everybody pays the rent, off the area where I work, the area where I live, where everybody rents their houses, and they're going online, so you'll have to pay your rent digitally. This is the way it's going. Everything is being pushed so that you will be forced, with no option, to pay digitally by your card without using a cash transaction. This in turn will force the cashless society. You're already seeing the signs. If your eyes are open, I can see it happening. Places refusing cash, or firm notices in stores. Can you please refrain from using cash? Please use your card. Glamorizing the card. It's not going to be a great society, folks. I'm kind of glad I'm at the age that I'm at, just near the big 50 mark, because I don't really want to be living in this dictatorial system. All these youngsters what are growing up now, they'll know nothing about the past life, what we once lived, and the older people. Everything will seem normal to them, because it's the life that they're growing into. You could put a child out in a jungle and let that child grow up with a bunch of apes, and it'll think that it belongs in the jungle. That's basically how it works. They'll know nothing about the past life. They think everything is normal. They can be living in a hellhole and think it's normal. Anyway, just thought I'd make a video on this cashless. It's a vile idea being pushed by this great global reset. Klaus Schwab and all these other evil dictators. Anyway, check out what was on this morning programme.
Well, retailers are looking at moving towards till-free stores, with customers picking items off the shelves, walking out, being automatically billed. So basically getting rid of people at the checkout altogether. Is that a step too far? Here's what some of you had to say.
I think if you're just dashing in to go and grab something, it's just so much easier just to go in, just get it, be able to walk out rather than having to queue.
I'm a very friendly person. I prefer to talk to humans, and machines don't talk, and things go wrong and I have to call for help, whilst humans are there already.
Always on the run to try and get the kids from school or something along those lines, so it's much easier for me to go in and out and be out as quick as I can be.
I'd miss chatting to the staff that you get familiar with in your local shops. You just be darting in and darting out and no conversation or anything, so yeah.
Yes, I think it's very important for people to interact with each other. I know there's a lot of very lonely people, and their big thing is to go and do some shopping and just a happy good morning, how are you? That makes their day. And it's lovely to be able to just interact with people. The machines, yes, they have their place, but not a whole shop full of machines, robots really, that you can't talk to, or they go wrong. You still got to call someone, plus the job losses for people. We're going to get to a stage where people don't matter anymore. I'm a people person, and I love to see people doing their jobs. People are trained to do these jobs in the shops, to be nice to people, to help them with things. And then all of a sudden, all those jobs are gone. It's all good and well, people saying, yes, but it's convenient. Yes, it is. The convenience is lovely, but it's also, I believe, cutting down on community, because community used to be a thing where you could take children with you, and a part of their learning would be to take them into shops and buy things. So all that will have gone, and they're not getting that interaction with people. So we're cutting down too much and taking away from people power. And I totally disagree with it. All this movement, now, for instance, I'm thinking of the little babies that have been born through this epidemic, and they haven't had the opportunity, or when they grow up, they're going to grow up into a situation where they think it's normal just to work with machines, and they're then losing the interaction with people. I understand what Rebecca's saying. It's not the shopkeepers, Tesco's, for instance, problem to deal with loneliness, but it's part of society for people to be together and be able to just communicate. It's not that you're going to have a big conversation on your lifestyle and everything. It's just politeness of saying thank you and how are you today? And those sort of things can make someone's day. We're not talking about having a psychiatrist in the shop, but it's helping for people to be able to interact. And children need to learn to be able to go in and interact. And if we're going to teach our children that it's just fine to just deal with things online all the time and not having people. For instance, I have a delivery here now because of the situation of the whole country. And we have a delivery. And the beauty of it is that there's someone comes and brings the shopping and you're having a good chat, although you're masked up and everything, but you have eye contact, you've got the interaction. And it's also Tesco's or whoever's doing all these automatic machines, it's their responsibility as well as shopkeepers, taking the money out of your pocket to be able to be nice to you and not just push you up against a robot. But Martin, yes, corporations are looking towards money, but it's the people who put the money in the pockets, and they should have a choice and a say to say, we don't want this or we do want this.
So you would boycott a completely self-checkout store with no staff at tills, Rusty?
I would actually, yes, I would, because I think it's important to have interaction with people.
Okay. Rusty, Rebecca, thank you very much indeed.